After many, many years of experimentation, we've learned the 9 fundamental truths about how shoppers behave. And let's go through them. The first one is people are skeptical of too good to be true. It's not just about making a bold claim at the top of the pitch, it's about making sure that there is nothing in the entirety of the sales pitch that comes across as being too good to be true. The moment the user comes across something, even if it's a small detail deep in the sales pitch that is too good to be true, it derails the sale. So think of the sale as being like a chain, and think of all of the claims you're making and all of the things you're saying as being links. The weakest link is going to break the chain. And so you have to be really mindful about this. And especially healthy skeptics, the moment they encounter something, they're already a little skeptical, right? So the moment they encounter something that sounds like marketing speak, it's going to derail the sale. We are living in a hyper specialized world. Consumers want to buy from someone who really understands it. What we're trying to communicate to the buyer is that for every 1 minute they may have spent thinking about this problem, we've spent 4 hours thinking about it. Figuring out how to communicate that is critically important. There is something about the human condition, and this is built into our DNA, where we really rally around people and ideas that are overcoming an obstacle, whether that's an internal obstacle or it's an external obstacle. Look, running a business is extremely hard. You have encountered numerous obstacles and you've overcome them. How do we showcase some of those obstacles so that the reader can start rallying behind us? So one of the things that we really think about is that, especially when we are kind of constructing a detailed pitch, it's pretty long and people have fatigue and it becomes hard to kind of go through the entire thing. And so we like to inject at strategic locations some trivia, something really interesting, something about your product, something that's on brand, something that's free educational for the reader. So I was working with a $1 billion shoe brand, and what we did was we injected some very interesting, quirky, not known facts about the feet, the bones in the feet, how 10 pounds of pressure on the feet is equal to X amount of pressure on the knees. And what this does is you're essentially giving people free knowledge. It gives them the motivation to continue reading. The thing that we know is that people that read our entire pitch are 10 times as likely to buy versus people that read half of our pitch. So I'm trying to do everything I can to get them to stick around and continue reading. 50% of our occipital cortex, which is the back of the brain, is devoted to image processing. Human beings have evolved to be highly perceptive to visuals. This is how we made sense of the world for hundreds of thousands of years. And so the question now becomes is how do we include in our story narratives that evoke visuals? Like, we want the reader not to just read, but we want them to actually see something as they're reading. Visuals embed much deeper in their brain, which means that ideas that we're communicating through devices that activate visuals are going to be much more memorable, therefore they will convert much better. This is one of the most important ones. We can construct the most compelling sales pitch about what makes our product amazing and all of that good stuff. If we don't create a path from where the user is to the future state that they want to get to using our product, they're just simply not going to have the motivation to break habits. The gravitational pull of habits is incredible. Anyone who's coming to our website and looking to make progress, they already have some kind of workaround. Their workaround literally could be ignoring the fact that they have a problem, or their workaround could be an alternative that they've done patchwork together to make work, but it works. Now, here's what's interesting, right? They're on our website. That is clearly a signal that they recognize at some level that believing this isn't a problem, or the patchwork solution that they've put together isn't good enough. But it's still our responsibility to give them motivation to make that switch. Nobody wants to just buy something that was just made for all types of buyers. We have to figure out a way, and this is a very specific copywriting technique. We need to write it in a way where when the reader is reading it, they feel like, oh my god, these guys like hacked my brain, because they absolutely understand who I am, what my situation is. They relate to my pain points. The examples that they're using are examples that I can relate to. We have to create an environment where the reader feels like this is personalized. Nobody likes to buy a commodity. People want to feel special about making a purchase. How do we communicate to the buyer, make them feel lucky that they clicked on the ad, they ran that search, and they discovered us? Because if they hadn't, they would never have found us. So, how do we create that feeling? That excitement is going to give them the motivation to actually make the purchase. And then finally, we must resolve their negative thoughts. Our brains are protection devices. They are trying to protect us. And so, as the reader is reading the sales pitch, their brains are throwing up all of these red flags for things they should be mindful about. If we do not anticipate what those negative thoughts are and they reach the bottom of the sales pitch, you can guess what's going to happen. They're just simply not going to buy. So we have to anticipate and resolve those negative thoughts. So that is the 9-point framework we use to maximize conversion rates.